All right, again, welcome everyone to this Discover Redox presentation. My name is Stevie, and I'm very grateful that you have joined us, or maybe you've stuck around from our previous call. Welcome, regardless to wherever you were here, wherever you are from in the world. It is a great honor to be able to have this opportunity to speak with you and share with you this ever most tremendous breakthrough that has happened in the healthcare world. Let's jump straight into that presentation. But before I do, actually, let me tell you what's coming up. I'm going to present to you what this tremendous breakthrough is. It's something that is significant. It was handed to me, over 6.5 years ago now, and it's been high priority for me ever since then to bring it to everybody's attention, because the level of importance of this information is significantly high, simply because the level of impact that it's having in people's lives is significantly deep. It is changing, bettering, and giving people's lives back in very significant ways. And so when I found out about this, I felt very compelled to bring it to the people in my life who were significant to me. And you may find that too, or you just may find something here for yourself at the very least. I hope in one way we're going to be able to add some value to your life today. And I do believe we'll be able to do that. So thank you for sticking around. And then also throughout that, we're going to hear from a couple of very special speakers. Men that are very special in my life, very significant mates. We're going to have Dan Doyle, who's going to share his story and his wisdom, and Malcolm Sword, who was also going to jump in doing the same. So you're going to want to stick around just to hear from those two gentlemen. So again, I welcome you here, and let me share my screen, and we'll jump into this presentation, and we're going to have these gentlemen and scholars and wizards jump in throughout it. So let me just share my screen here. Fantastic. Okay, so again, in case you couldn't catch it, I said my name is Stevie, and in case you couldn't tell by my Crocodile Dundee accent, my family and I live in Australia. We're originally from Sydney, but now we live on the Gold Coast, and that was truly a dream come true when we can make that happen. We absolutely love it. I feel very blessed and grateful and fortunate and rich in my life. I've been able to create time and income and freedom that has allowed us to enjoy a really great lifestyle up here. It's taken us to many parts of the world that once upon a time way too far out of my reach, to be honest. But look, the good vibes and good times that I find myself in now have not always been the case for us. Look, right from the beginning, I was a very difficult, weird and awkward child to parent in school. I never made the grades. And out of all the bad things that happened to me over the years, probably the worst thing was that on a daily basis, I was told I was stupid and useless. And I kind of figured out when you're told something often enough, especially because I was young and impressionable enough too, you kind of start to believe it. And so I later became a teenage runaway and a high school dropout. And with that kind of thinking, I walked myself way off track on life's journey throughout my teens and 20s. I was going to the wrong places. I was learning from the wrong people, and I was doing the wrong things. But the PG version is I had more than 20 different jobs in far less that time. And for over a decade, I was a very dumb, but hey, very good looking bouncer in what used to be the most popular nightclubs in Sydney. There was the most notorious part in Sydney, actually, was King's Cross. Notorious for all the wrong reasons. Now, I was a dreamer. I had dreams, but I wanted to be, do, and have more. I really wanted to give more, actually, but I had little self-esteem, and so I did little with my life and had little to give. Physically, I've always been athletic, mainly in martial arts. You wouldn't have known it, but back then, I had really major health troubles. I had an autoimmune inflammatory diseases and issues throughout my lungs, my gut, and my skin. I had lots of bad injuries from very hardcore martial arts too. I practice a very, very ancient martial art, actually, so it's pretty hardcore. Financially, I was just not only getting myself stuck, but digging myself further in a rut. Hopes and prospects going nowhere, jobs going nowhere, no financial security, no financial dignity. I've been embarrassingly broke, phone, electricity, gas cut off, not able to run my car because I couldn't afford the petrol, not able to make the rent. I've been evicted. I mean, no financial dignity. Now, I've always believed in possibilities, but I've always, always back then doubted my potential. And so with that kind of contradiction, it led to confusion and frustration and unhappiness and unfulfillment and just being trapped, unable to be who I wanted to be. Now, things started turning around for me in two very significant points in my life. First, I met this girl of my dreams. I was motivated more than ever before to become more. But a big turning point for me was she believed in me. And told me that I was more. And again, I figured out when you're told something often enough, you kind of start to believe it, right? And but second, I was introduced to this company's life-changing breakthrough opportunity and training. And the company leaders are extremely successful people. They believed in me too, but more importantly, they've taught me how to believe and become, or more specifically, the two gentlemen you're going to hear from today. So now, instead of having health and wealth problems, I've solved them because of this life-changing breakthrough, and I have the honor of helping others to solve them too, and that has been a tremendous financial opportunity as well. And instead of being trapped, unfulfilled, unhappy, and frustrated, and I now have the ability to believe and become more and give more, which is what I've really always wanted to do, because this company's training has shown me a life-changing better way. So now I'm here to spend the rest of my life doing nothing less than endeavoring to better people's lives in at least any one of these life-changing ways too. So again, thank you for joining me. What I'm going to share with you first is this life-changing breakthrough that has been so significant in my life and the life of many others. It's the most significant health and life science breakthrough of our lifetime. Medical experts say this is a very big breakthrough, greater than the discoveries of DNA or penicillin, they say. For 2 decades, science had declared this was impossible, by the way. However, today this is known to be a breakthrough with enormous potential, which is proven by renowned universities and world-leading laboratory medical studies, real studies, nothing made up. It's a very advanced breakthrough, as it's considered to be 15 years ahead of its time, and any health goals or challenges you can think of, remarkable results. But drug companies wanted all that shut down, but more about that a little later. Before I tell you what this is, I want to be absolutely clear about what this is not, because this is nothing like anything else you've ever seen before. What we'll be talking about goes well beyond drugs or nutrition, well beyond any type of ingredients or technology you already know about out there, because what I'm about to show you instead is an entirely new frontier in science, and it is truly groundbreaking and category creating and a real deal healthcare breakthrough. So this is the ASEA Redox cell signaling technology. This particular one is a drink that contains active redox signaling molecules. What the heck are those? Redox signaling molecules are made by your cells, so they're native to your body. They are your cellular messengers that affect your cell-to-cell communication, and therefore your cell-to-cell function and operation, all the way down to your very genetic expressions in a very positive way. Now, redox signaling is a remarkable process because it is the actual process that empowers your body to heal itself. And this happens by redox signaling molecules sending signals and telling your cells how to protect healthy cells, repair unhealthy cells, and replace damaged cells. Redox signaling molecules also activate your body's immune system to protect against bacteria, viruses, and infection. Bottom line is this: redox signaling is what keeps cells functioning and healing at optimal levels. Why is this also important? Because we are all made of cells. We live and die at the cellular level. Healthy cells, healthy body, healthy life, but that doesn't happen without healthy balances of redox signaling molecules. So these redox molecules are really the keys to that healthy life. They are essential for the activation and function of our normal physiology. All of our body's major systems, biochemical and physiological processes and functions, all of it critically depends on redox signaling. Because if all of your cells were to suddenly stop making redox signaling molecules right now, you wouldn't live longer than just a few more mere seconds. Without your redox signaling molecules, life ends. So if our bodies already make these redox signaling molecules, then why do we need to give our bodies more? Well, when we're born, we make an abundance of redox signaling molecules. That's generally why children have so much energy, how they can run around all day, not wake up sore the next day, how they can bounce back so quickly from an injury or illness. However, as we age and as we are bombarded with stress, poor diet, toxins, and all sorts of other environmental assaults, our cells break down and our body's ability to make redox signaling molecules breaks down. And without as many of these redox signaling molecules giving clear cell signals, our whole cellular protection and healing and function, all of those processes that we just discussed become slow and sluggish. Our cells break down more and more, and so does our health, wellness, youth, and vitality. ASEA takes science seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research with renowned universities, world-leading laboratories, and they allow these outside and independently reviewed studies to prove the potential of ASEA Redox signaling supplements, demonstrating the safety and efficacy of the ASEA Redox products and certifying them as safe and effective in every body. ASEA is within a very real and significant space of science. Redox is based in Nobel Prize winning research. Since the first Nobel Prize was awarded to these three professors back in 1998 for the first discovery of a signaling molecule, there have now since been multiple signaling molecules discovered, all present in ASEA, every single one that exists. And also multiple Nobel Prizes awarded for research in this field of redox biochemistry. If you went along to pubmed.gov, which is where all peer-reviewed medical studies are published in the National Library of Medicine, if you typed in redox signaling there, you would see well over 33,000 results. There are more than 1,500 medical textbooks that have been published on redox signaling. This slide's already out of date with around 150 studies coming out almost every single month. So you're in a very real and rapidly growing area of science, according to medical researchers. And as reported by mainstream media, such as the Huffington Post, who specifically wrote about ASEA in this article, redox signaling is one of the fastest emerging fields in science that will shape all of our lives in the coming years. And let me tell you, there are now multiple universities who've received tens of millions of dollars in grants to open up redox research centers. There are now global medical conferences being held about redox. Medical doctors specializing in redox, with one such professor, a doctor at Harvard Medical School, who has a PhD in title that includes Director of Redox Medicine. And as for ASEA around all of this, we're already light years ahead. Now, ASEA Redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which translates to health at its most foundational level. Here's just one example. ASEA Redox has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways and affect your genes that improve immune system health, help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, help maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, improve gut health and digestive enzyme production, and modulate hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, these genes are key in the health of every individual. They play a vital role, not just in the 5 mentioned human health areas, but also in dozens of additional genetic pathways. And moreover, ASEA Redox has also been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production and efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. Further studies show that ASEA lowers oxidative stress, with the head professor of that university study saying that one of the most important effects of ASEA on disease risk factors is its ability to reduce oxidative stress. And that is very significant because all degenerative health concerns are caused by oxidative stress. Now, from rigorous toxicology studies, ASEA is proven to be 100% safe. We mean 0% toxicity, literally. And how can this occur? Because redox signaling molecules are native to your body. They're already in you, your body already makes them. It's just that now your body can't make as much of them as it used to be able to when it was younger and healthier. So if you have health challenges, if you have people that you care about who do, if you have a wish that you could look, live and feel young again, if you have the very good sense for protecting your health because you don't want to become old and unwell, if you have a goal of having higher levels of human performance, whether it be athletically or just in your everyday life, any health goal you can think of, redox users and medical doctors are seeing just remarkable results. But you don't need to take my word for it, because I'm going to share with you some medical doctors right now so you can have a listen in on what they have to say.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
Health is something we have to earn. What can I do to get to the root of things and really prevent problems from happening? Is it possible? And the answer is yes.
You know, I think most people don't actually really consider their health until it's gone. So it's the choices that we make today that are going to determine the level of our wellness and our health and our healthy longevity tomorrow.
We want to keep people healthy. We don't want to see that deterioration. The whole process of the anti-aging and regenerative medicine that I'm so passionate about is on the premise that we can maintain energy, we can maintain health.
So prevention is key, but people need to value it, and people need to understand what it is and take responsibility.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants, and the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries, but now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
This is where the future lies, and this is why redox chemistry and supplements that employ this are so powerful.
They literally turn on and turn off, signal every single process in every living cell. And to be able to stabilize a product that allows us to replenish that is just a phenomenal breakthrough.
This has the capability to change the landscape of the healthcare system as we know it.
Okay, so now that we've spoken about cellular health from the inside out, I'd like to show you what's possible from the outside in. And that's made possible by ASEA's topical versions of redox technology, which are Renew 28 Redox Gel and the Intensive Redox Serum. Now, these redox technologies are supported and further enhanced by the complementary and all natural ingredients products, our gentle refining cleanser and our ultra replenishing moisturizer. But a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So let's just show you what these ASEA redox technologies are actually worth with these pictures of amazing health, anti-aging and age reversing results. Now, lines and wrinkles are smoothed out. Elasticity comes back to the skin. Skin blemishes, spots, dots, marks, inflammations, irritations, and aggravations, other signs of poor health to the skin being renewed, even for young people too, improving the quality of life and being rejuvenated. Even the aftermath of some of these unfortunate conditions come back to the proper surface of the skin. This is Rosie here, and the dramatic difference that you're seeing in the first two pictures on the left could not be seen by Rosie because Rosie didn't take those pictures, and actually Rosie along the way believed that the products were not working at all. So when Rosie went along to see her doctor, that's who told her about ASEA and who took these pictures, by the way. And when Rosie told that doctor that the products didn't work, the doctor showed these pictures. I guess the rest of the story can be seen right here, right? Everyone says, I want to see how ASEA goes. Fair enough. But Rosie missed the moment-by-moment changes by not taking pictures. And you may miss them too, so please take pictures. And anything you can't take a picture of, keep a written record instead. The person who introduces you to ASEA will help you with that. Now, how long does it take to notice a result? Some people notice results in a reasonable amount of time, like Rosie, within 7 weeks. Others can have an experience in around about 7 days. Most people can have an experience in around about 7 minutes or so. However, some people need to apply more product, time, and patience, generally when there's more going on with their health. What we know scientifically, redox signaling molecules are all the same. Same in you, me, animals, and plants, all the same. And studies show that ASEA redox products contain nothing but redox signaling molecules. These studies also show that ASEA has an immediate positive effect. They're absorbed almost instantaneously. They go to work almost instantaneously and have a positive effect. It would be scientifically impossible for redox signaling molecules to not work in you and or hurt you. But look, what does differ from person to person is the time it takes them to notice the change. Speaking of noticing the change, this doctor did a little experiment of his own on his very own face and used Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. Can you spot the difference there? Once you see it, it's a little bit difficult to unsee it. Now, it's not just for your face. Renew 28 can be used all over your body, as you can see in these pictures: arms, hands, bellies, buttocks, thighs, and all over. These pictures are actually from a study from a world-leading laboratory, and the study was done because there were many reports coming in from all over the world of people saying that their cellulite had disappeared while they were using Renew 28. And so scientists set upon very strict studies to see if there was any truth to these stories. What they found was after just 12 weeks, there was a 16% reduction in the appearance of cellulite. And so the scientists did ultrasounds to try and see how this was happening. What they found was that the subcutaneous fat that was causing the cellulite was actually being dissolved from the use of Renew 28. So Renew 28 helps reduce the appearance of cellulite and wrinkles. And as we've said, enhancing skin texture, smoothing the skin, not just for visibly younger looking skin, actual healthier skin, and healthy is the new beautiful. Renew 28 helps soothe skin discomfort after things such as shaving or sun exposure and alike. But Renew 28 is not just for the skin. It goes deeper than that. And you can know about it. It helps soothe discomfort around the body. And you can know about that in about 10 minutes for most people. So if you have some soreness around your body, I want you to give it a soreness score out of 1 to 10. 10 would be maximum soreness. Apply Renew 28 on that sore spot 3 times within 5 minutes. And usually 9 to 10 out of every 10 people, at least I see, and most people see, we notice a soothing or reduction of that discomfort within those people within approximately just 10 minutes. Nothing I've said here today has been intended to diagnose anything that you're going through. And ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. So before we move on any further, after showing you what this can do from the outside in, I want to get back to what this can do from the inside out. And a gentleman who's able to illustrate that in a very significant way is my best mate, an Aussie who's living in Hawaii. His name is Dan Doyle. He came from a very severe, not just health concerning situation, but this put a concern upon his life as well. And with this breakthrough, he was able to have very significant turnaround from that. And he's now a multi-million-dollar international success story, not just because of what this breakthrough has done to him, but because he is bringing it to others and allowing it to do it for them as well. So he's an ambassador, triple diamond with this organization. He is, if that means nothing to you, is the number 3 highest ranking associate in the world with our organization. He is a member of the $1 Million Earners Club, and he is highly awarded Business Builder Award, Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, Emerging Leader of the Year Award. He's highly awarded and rewarded, as I said, simply because of a byproduct of how much he's going out there and bettering people's lives and being a force for good in the world, which is the mission of this company and one that he takes literally to heart. So this is my best mate, Dan Doyle. Thanks so much for being on here, brother, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Stevie. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody, for being on the call. Really appreciate the introduction, Stevie. Thanks for your presentation thus far. For anybody who's got any questions on the product so far, before we get into the business side, which we will shortly, you're more than welcome to ask questions and put them in the chat box. And Stevie and Mal will get those answered while I'm going through my little presentation here. Just in regards to, if you do have any questions on specific issues, conditions, and diseases, please don't ask, because we always ask a question back if that question is asked, and that is there a cell involved, C-E-L-L, and it's obviously in every situation there is a cell involved. So as far as I'm concerned, for you guests who are on this call, somebody has handed you a gift, what I would consider to be one of the most precious gifts you could probably receive in your lifetime. Totally up to you whether you want to open that gift or not. Hopefully we can help you make an informed decision whether you want to use that gift. But before I go into my story, I always like to reiterate the company disclaimer that these products that we're talking about are not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. But I think by now you can understand the enormity of these molecules, this breakthrough, this technology, what we've got our hands on, where they can empower the body to heal itself. So I'm going to go back to Sydney, Australia, where I grew up and played many sports to distract myself from school. I was one of those kids that didn't like school, didn't like homework, and I ended up jumping into rugby and judo, gymnastics, aerobics, surfing, and this thing called bodybuilding. So this is me 30 years ago at the age of 24. Don't get too excited, ladies. I don't look like this anymore. This is 3 decades ago. This is the start of me being a young entrepreneur in the health and fitness industry. And over the next 2 decades, I didn't know I was going to do it at this time in my life, but I started building and selling traditional businesses in the construction industry, the hospitality industry, the security industry. And over the next 2 decades, employing around about 3,500 people. So we fast forward 20 years from the age of 24 to 44. This is a picture of me, not a bodybuilder anymore, but I wanted to be the best version of a 50-year-old that I could be. And this is me leading up to my 50s. And 10 years later, at nearly 54, I'm doing that, want to be the best version of a 60-year-old. So I still keep active with physically looking after myself in so many ways. And, you know, thank goodness I was in this condition, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have felt something that wasn't quite right with my body. So let's fast forward 6 months into 2011. And this is a picture of me on the right-hand side going through 2.5 years of what I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, in and out of a hospital in Sydney, Australia. You can see I've got no hair from the top of my head to my toes. Young man standing next to me, Johnny Manor, 21 years old in this photo. He'd been through all the hospital visits that I was experiencing here. He went into remission, back playing the highest levels of rugby in Australia, one of Mal Sword's favourite teams, Parramatta Eels. And unfortunately for this, after this photo was taken, his issue came back. He went back into hospital. He started losing a lot of weight. He lost all his hair and he never came out. We lost him at the age of 23. Really sad time. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if Johnny had no hope and he had what you would consider the good one and I had 2 of the bad ones, what hope did I have? At the end of my 2.5 years of hospital visits, my doctors told me to get my affairs in order. I made a decision at that point to take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands. I did some research. My research led to an alkaline diet. I knew what I had from my research, couldn't live in an alkaline state. Did the best I could through diet, spending a lot of money with network marketing companies around the world, through individuals who introduced me to companies like Zango and Isogenics and Kangen Water, Life Vantage, Pro Tandem, a lot of different products. And these are all great products, but I can tell you after 2 years of using all these products and being on an alkaline diet, this was the result. My body was still heading in the wrong direction. I was still in a lot of trouble with my health. My blood works weren't good at the time. This is 2014, a week before I was introduced to ASEA. Bart Cotter reached out to me and said, I think I've found something that can help. Quickly got on the phone to Mal Sword, who's on this call. You're going to hear from him shortly. And we took off to Salt Lake City, Utah. And the results in a short few days were just absolutely phenomenal. 3 hours, my body was expelling things from it so fast. When I started on this product, I had little red spots all over my upper torso. In 12 hours, a 20-year caffeine intolerance had gone away. Any more than 2 coffees, I'd be bloated and buckled over with discomfort the whole day. And 48 to 72 hours in, I had so much lung damage from what they put me through in that hospital, had trouble breathing and talking at the same time. My lungs were functioning perfect in those short few days. Went back to Australia. Long story short again, 12 months later, 2015, this is the day the doctors told me no sign of those 2 major challenges. Not only that, multiple injuries from playing sports, which were turning into that crippling issue as we get older, had gone away. And also 20 years of pollen problems, sneezing, runny nose, and using terrible things they used to have to get from the pharmacy to try and slow that down. That had all gone away. My whole body had been rebuilt top to bottom in 2015. Let's fast forward another 2 years. You can see I'm looking a lot better again, looking younger, definitely feeling younger. I always like to go back to 2014, and what you're seeing on the outside here is a reflection of what was going on the inside at that time when this photo was taken. 1 year on the product, looking a lot better, feeling a lot better. What you're seeing on the outside, a reflection of what was going on the inside at that time. And in this photo, my complexion, a reflection of what was going on the inside at that time. So incredible results physically, and also you're going to hear from Stevie coming on, and then Mal talking about the opportunity and what this can do for an individual financially. Keep asking the questions. If you're just here for your own health and you're just looking at the product, don't let the opportunity distract you from that. I can tell you, if it wasn't for the opportunity, Bart Cotter wouldn't have reached out to me. I wouldn't have reached out to Mal Sword. It's an incredible opportunity that I adopted along the way. Things evolved, started sharing it with people, and thank goodness the company started to send me thank you checks for helping people, which I invested in more product for my health, which I was able to saturate my body with more molecules to get it to more damage, to get to my body to where I wanted to go. As far as the business is concerned, and continuing building the business and starting that in 2015 when I really engaged, the rest is really history. Incredible results with that. We were able to travel the world from the first year, from living in a van and almost going to the Salvation Army for food stamps. So guys, keep asking the questions about the product or the molecules, and even the opportunity, because that's what we're going to speak about now. And I'll hand back to Stevie just in regards to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Dan. I appreciate you, mate. And stick around, folks. You'll get to hear from Dan again. But I'm going to share a little bit more with you, and then we're going to bring on another very significant gentleman, Mal Sword, in just a little bit. So let me share with you that with every great breakthrough comes great opportunity, and that is a universal truth, a historical fact. And the greater the breakthrough, the greater the opportunity. And so ASEA is a life-changing breakthrough. That's created a life-changing financial opportunity behind all of this to make a living while bettering people's lives. Now, as for our redox products, ASEA is the world's first and only redox signaling supplements for two very simple reasons. One, for nearly 3 decades now, no one other than the medical scientists who've worked with ASEA, no one but they have been able to figure out how to create and stabilize redox signaling molecules outside of the body. And for the 2 decades before ASEA's breakthrough work, science had declared that this was all impossible. And we have third-party, very significant science validating that our redox products contain nothing but redox signaling molecules. That comes from Bioagilytics, who assesses most of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world, making sure that what is in those products is exactly what the companies are claiming are in those products. And that's what Bioagilytics does with our ASEA products too, and Redox certifies them. Now, too, ASEA is heavily patented. So, of course, ASEA is not allowed to be copied, but also ASEA just simply cannot be copied, because there's absolutely no way for anyone to be able to look into a bottle of ASEA and figure out how to reverse engineer it and make it for themselves, because there are no secrets in the bottle, because there are trade secrets in the making of ASEA. And so it really cannot be copied. And that means we have no copycats. That means we have no competition. That means no one in the world has what ASEA has. No one. That means no other products in the world can do what ASEA does. None of them. Nothing else in the world can get to the depth and level of achievement in the human body as what ASEA can, because nothing else is redox signaling molecules outside of the body that you can supplement with other than ASEA. And so redox works in everybody. Everybody needs redox, because nothing in the body works as well or at all, in fact, without redox. And redox can't hurt anybody. No other products can make these claims. No juice, pills, super shake, fancy water, CBD oil, whatever it might be, or however good it might be. Remember, it can't work in the body at all without redox. No one else can make these claims that ASEA can, through the power of their breakthrough. And so ASEA holds massive opportunities over and above anything else out there, and across all health science sectors. This is one breakthrough changing a $3 trillion industry across healthcare wellness, sports science, athletic performance, beauty, skincare, aging, longevity. These are, as I said, multi-trillion-dollar industries. And again, ASEA is the only company in the world that anybody in the world throughout these multi-trillion-dollar industries can get a redox supplement from, and it is needed more than anything else scientifically. And so ASEA really is, for this, and among other reasons, an entrepreneur's dream. The mission here at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. We can't do that on our own, and so we look for people to help spread the word. How we do that is not complicated. First and foremost, we share ASEA Redox with others. Along the way, we look for and find people who want to do the same, and we grow and expand a global network of others sharing Redox with others. And in this way, you can be in business for yourself. You can be your own boss, but you'll never be in business by yourself, because together we're better. And so together we work to improve the productivity of the networks that we've built regionally, nationally, and internationally. So ASEA gives you the opportunity to earn money just by sharing Redox with others. For people looking for either an extra, part-time, full-time, big-time, or legacy-leaving income for loved ones, there are levels of commissions to meet whatever your levels of ambitions are. To be able to afford making your goals, dreams, and desires a reality, ASEA helps you create income that is both residual and leveraged. And what I mean by that, you receive a residual income, not just from the first, but from all of the repeated purchases made by every single person you refer to ASEA. On top, you also receive unlimited leveraged residual income from all of the repeated purchases, even if it's just from the same person, but all of the purchases made by every single person your contacts and others also refer. And there's no limit to how far and wide and deep these referrals can go, because you can refer as many people as you like, and because those people can refer as many people as they like, and you get paid for every single purchase on every single person, every single repurchase on every single purchase. It makes the residual income potential here unlimited to you. Now, we do this type of marketing all the time in our everyday normal lives, just like when we recommend a good movie, TV series, restaurant, cafe, book, whatever it might be. People tell people who then tell even more people, and it goes on, right? Word of mouth marketing is the oldest, but still today, the #1 most powerful, effective, trusted, and listened to form of marketing in the world. There's no limits, especially with how connected the world is today. Word spreads worldwide. And ASEA is currently in 35 countries. They've opened up new markets in the past every single year. We were profitable from year 1 with 0 debt. We're into our 11th year now. And every year, the only stat that has changed is that we've increased in profitability and expanded further around the world. And so based on these existing trends, the annual turnover is projected to exceed $500 million by the year 2025. And many people are saying even far beyond that. Now, residual income is very impressive. Being able to make money again and again and again from the work you do just once. Being able to make money while you sleep or on holidays is very impressive, residual income. But more so, it's important. You have residual bills, so why not have residual income? Do you know what happens to most people by the time they're 65? Well, out of every 100 people, only 1 of them is wealthy. Only 3 are financially secure. 7 must still work to survive at 65. And let me tell you, they're not working because they want to. That's different. They're working because they have to, these people. They're a slave to the dollar. But worse still, 74 out of every 100 people are dependent on welfare by 65. And so I had to ask myself, what's going wrong? Because I was on this failing financial plan. So what was one of the main financial principles the top 4% there seemed to figure out that me and the other 81% of us weren't figuring out? And I found this: how to make money that is no longer dependent on your paid by the hour, selling your precious time, which you'll never get back, for money, or labor, your own labor or own activity job, otherwise known as active income. Look, what I found out is sooner or later, we're all not going to be able to be as active as we are right now. And therefore, we won't be able to have as much active income as we have right now. This is very concerning for me, because I thought, well, my active income already isn't enough for me and my family as it is. And this is one of the biggest problems 81% of people get trapped in: a failing financial plan. Money is an excellent servant, but it is a terrible master. So if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you are going to have to be a slave for money until you die. Now, I'm not saying jobs are bad. They're a great place to start for most of us. If you truly do love your job, by the way, keep it. You're blessed. But still, find a way to make money outside of your job that isn't going to interfere with what you're currently doing, because only relying on that single source of active income is not smart, dangerous, and a risk to your financial security. So for people who are smart, who have been wanting to be in the right place at the right time, are able to recognize a good thing, who decide to take control of their finances and their freedom, for people who aren't happy with the amount of money that they have or how they have to make it, for people who have dreams and want a better life, ASEA is a significant opportunity. to be paid a significant residual income from the inevitable growth of this global expansion. And it can afford you your dreams and give you that real freedom. But there's nothing better than making a living from bettering people's lives. And that's what we get to do with ASEA. It's really who we become and what we do. Those are the biggest rewards over and above any riches it will make you. Now, you can make really great money here, that's for sure. You can even be rewarded on top with all expenses paid trips to 5-star luxury locations around the world. You'll have a really great time, meeting great people, great friends, having great experiences, a great lifestyle. But really, at the end of the day, it is the effect we have on others. That is one of the most valuable currencies there is. And that is the heart of this company. And it was demonstrated because the truth is, after big pharmaceutical companies were shown tens of millions of dollars and 17 years worth of powerful research and clinical studies proving ASEA, those big drug companies offered to pay ASEA huge sums of money for the sole and exclusive rights to the ASEA Redox technology. But those drug companies wanted ASEA to shut down, and they wanted everyone taken off Redox. But thankfully, the founders of ASEA, Virtus and his son, Tyler Norton, had the great foresight to see very grave concerns and consequences in such a deal. Because Virtus and Tyler saw people, like Dan, people who went from very severe health challenges that once not just left them, but even their doctors feeling hopeless, to then these people experiencing life-changing power with Redox. And when Virtus and Tyler saw this, they were filled with a great sense of responsibility to get this breakthrough for humanity out to the world. And so they couldn't in good conscience sell out. And so that's why they didn't. They said no to the payout and yes to the people. Now, this had once started out for Virtus and Tyler, to be honest with you, as just a very big business play. But it's become more over the years. For the ASEA founders, they turned down the huge sum of money from those big pharmaceutical companies and decided to go the supplement route instead of the drug route, to speed up the availability of this technology to you, making it available immediately, globally, to everyone and without a prescription. And one of ASEA's most guiding principles was demonstrated here, as is perpetually demonstrated in every decision they make, and that is to always put people and principles before ego and economics. And the ASEA founders and their corporate team, they come from big backgrounds, up to Fortune 50 backgrounds. They're exceptionally experienced, running very big, profitable, global companies, but their corporate soul revolves around putting people first and having an impact and making a difference and being a force for good in the world. So you're in very good hands. Get back with the person who shared this with you. Got any questions? Ask them. They can point to where you can find the answers easily. But most importantly, there's plenty of university studies for you to take a look at. But most importantly, there's hundreds of thousands of real people's life-changing Redox experiences for you to see ASEA is the real deal. But there's a great deal, significantly greater deal, more of people out there that need this, that don't know about it yet. So if you want to be happier and healthier and just live younger, stronger, longer, you may just want to become an ASEA customer, and we welcome you and thank you for that. But if you have more in your heart, more dreams, more desires, if you want to be, do, have, if you want to be able to give more, if you want to help people be happier and healthier, if you want a better life, income, lifestyle, if you want that for others too, if you want to make more of a difference in the world, you can become part of this Redox reality, and you can become more. And if you'll just pass this information on for many, many others, you can better the lives of many, many others. And as a byproduct of that, your life will become better, not just financially, but in many, many ways. So thank you very much for spending this time with me. I wish that you will always be happy and well. But before we go, if he's still here with us, and if it's still okay, I'd like to introduce a very special speaker who's had a very significant, let me turn on my camera so you can see my ugly mug, has had a very significant impact in my life. He's been one of these most awesome leaders that, like Dan, took me under his wing and has believed in me and told me that I was more long before I could do any of that for myself. He's one of my greatest mentors. For the past 28 years, he's been breaking records in the fields of sales and marketing. He's built organizations that have numbered in the tens of thousands. So he's a very significant entrepreneur, a public speaker, a business coach, adventurer, father of 8 rabbits, as he affectionately calls them. And his entire life has been that of to discover purpose and determination, to make a difference, and to leave a legacy for his children and also for the world. So I'm very honored to have this man as a mentor and as a mate. So this is the Sword Master, Mr. Malcolm Sword. Thanks for being here with us. You want to say a few words in closing?
Yeah, let me just first of all say a huge thank you to a few people, because I've been incredibly blessed with this company, with this technology. There's a lot of people going to be watching this. I just saw in the chat somebody just starting with the SEER. I won't bore you with all the details, but I've had a very dramatic turnaround financially with being with the company. And, you know, I'm incredibly grateful. I give thanks every single day to Vertus Norton that he did not sell this technology. When he had an offer on the table from Big Pharma to sell this, that would have left his family generational wealth for, you know, the hundreds of years probably. And he decided that, or he felt that if he sold it to Big Pharma, that they would have either shelved it, that's conjecture, or made it so expensive that the average person might not be able to use the product. So I'm eternally grateful to him. I don't know what I would be doing today had it not been for Vertus deciding not to sell this technology to Big Pharma. It's been a transformation financially, not just for me, but for thousands and thousands. Other than Doyley's health transformation, which was incredible, he's also had an incredible wealth transformation as well, as have I. And so there's really two benefits that we share with people with the SEER opportunity. One is the health transformation, but also the wealth transformation. And there's so many people I'm talking with at the moment that you know, post the COVID, or as we migrate out of the COVID, that have problems and have no answers. I've watched a lot of people in Australia, I can't speak for the rest of the world, a lot of people in the last 18 months, you know, take all their retirement money out of superannuation. And not that that was ever going to be enough for most of them, it wasn't, but now that's gone. And a lot of people are really going to be struggling when they get to their, you know, latter years, their twilight years, as I was. You know, I ended up being 61 years of age. I'd gone through bankruptcy. I'd gone through a lot of problems. And when I started my journey, you know, thanks to Doyley, really, he made that call to me. I mean, Doyley in turn is ever so grateful to Bart Cotter, but, you know, I'm eternally grateful for Danny reaching out to me back in late 2014 when he and I went. Let me just add something to what Danny was saying about, you know, recovering in the first few days of him being on the Redox. Day 3, when we were in Salt Lake City, we'd been over there first day in the boardroom, and day 3, we were about to head back to Australia that night. And the three of us, Danny, Bart Cotter and I, went to a theme park. It was around the time of Halloween. Doyley, you'll remember this. And we pulled into the car park. Bart's in the driver's seat. I'm in the front passenger seat, you know, on the other side. And Doyley's behind, sitting behind Bart Cotter in the passenger seat at the back. The theme park's to our right. Without saying anything, Doyley gets out of the car and he starts running the opposite way. And I remember saying to Bart, where's Doyley off to? He's just started running the opposite direction. Like, I thought, where the heck's he going? Anyway, by this time we're at the back of the car, locked the car, we're at the back of the car. And Doyley runs back and he stands right in front of me, looking at me. And he's like looking at me, expecting me to say something. And I'm saying, what? He said, look at me. I said, I'm looking at you. I said, what? He said, looking at you. I said, I think where were you off to? And he said, look at me. Now, the year before, he and I had been in a presentation together, and he would literally have to sit down. If he was talking, he could not converse and talk. He had to sit down. And he said, look what I just did. He ran, I don't know, 70 meters there and 70 meters back. And he wasn't even out of breath. I mean, that was just impossible for him to have done the year before. And this was day 3 on being on these redox molecules. Let me just qualify that by saying not everybody responds as quickly. Let me just say that. Not everybody does, but 5 or 10% of people will respond like that to the product. The other thing I just want to mention from a business point of view, when I started on the business, there's really 2 ways to build and see a business from what I've seen in 5 years. Neither way is right or wrong. You're free to build them both ways. You can either build it solely on the product, and I've watched people do that. When I started doing that, I found it was a little bit slow for me. So you can build it on the product, or you can build it on the opportunity. And I kind of migrated after 9 months, 12 months to building on the opportunity, looking for business builders, entrepreneurs, that kind of thing. And I found that since I started doing that, the growth was way, way faster. I've got a caveat on that though. If I know somebody's unwell, if I know somebody's ill, I'm going to talk to them about the product. I'm not going to have a business conversation. But most people that I speak to, the majority of people that I speak to are financially unwell. They're financially ill. Most people have not got their finances sorted out, just as I was 5 years ago. I was end up with nothing. When I started my journey with a seer, not only did I not have anything, I was $130,000 behind zero. My first dream was to get to zero. And then once I got to zero, I thought then I could start making some progress again. So that's my journey. I kind of started building it on the business, looking for entrepreneurs, looking for people that kind of get this. You know, one of the things that some of you will have heard me say before is that, you know, when you share an opportunity like a seer with people, and look, a lot of people won't get it. I get that. It is a breakthrough. It's unknown to people. A lot of people are skeptical. I get that. But to an entrepreneur, when they really get this, it should be like waving raw meat in front of a savage dog. It's an unbelievable opportunity. I'll never see it again in my life at my age. And Stevie, even you're a lot young, you'll never see another seer in your life either. And if you're listening to this and you're in your early 20s, you might, but you might have to wait another 40 years before you find an seer. You might have to wait. Don't wait. This is an incredible technology, 20 years probably ahead of its time, put together by people that are the most incredible human beings. The owner, Virtus Norton, his son Tyler, incredible human beings. Virtus, in my opinion, is the most incredible man I've ever met in my life. So I'm eternally grateful to Virtus, eternally grateful to Tyler Norton, to Bart for having spoken to Danny, and also to Danny Doyle for leading the way when I was, you know, in the financial abyss. I really don't know where I would be financially today without these guys. So I'm very grateful to Doyley. I'm very grateful to Bart. Very grateful to Tyler, and to certainly incredibly grateful to Virtus that he did not elect to sell this. It's an opportunity that really is for anybody. You know, how quickly you build it really depends on how fast you can grow. Personally, it's a personal development program. Jim Rohn used to teach, if you want more, become more. And the way that this works with our business is as you grow, then your organization will catch up. You grow, you catch up. You grow, you catch up. And at every level, that's true. You know, I'm reinventing myself again, because to move to the higher levels, it's about reinventing who I am. Our income is based on value. The more value we learn to give to other people, to help other people, to give to the market, the more income that we generate. But we have to become more valuable as human beings to be able to do that. So as we grow, we create more value to the market, to other people, and we are rewarded for being able to do that. So most of this is really about personal growth and personal development. If I was to give you a recipe for success, and you wanted to grow faster, I'm often asked, how do I grow my business faster? Grow you faster. If you were to do 1 hour a day on reading or on audible books, I promise you in 3 months, you wouldn't be the same person. You would be totally different. You would think differently. You would respond differently. Your resilience would be better. You'd be more focused on you. So much of this is to do with personal growth. And I recognized that when I began my journey in 2016, because I was a whipped dog. I'd lost everything. I couldn't even afford at the end of 2015 to buy my boys presents. So you can imagine where my self-image was, you know, and in large part, it was the belief of other people. You know, Danny believed in me. I didn't believe in me. Bart believed in me. I had zero belief in Mel. Everything I'd done for the previous years was like going to the casino. You know, when you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose. And you end up thinking, I'm just a loser. Everything I seem to touch just doesn't seem to do anything. And so it was largely their belief in me in those early stages. And that's so important when you build a business like this, to give other people that belief in themselves. Wherever you are right now listening to this, there wouldn't be many of you that would have been in a worse position than Doyley and I, you know, for health and wealth, health and money reasons. We were, like you'd have looked at us, we were both kind of train wrecks, financially, health-wise. And in a few, you know, relatively short period of time, I mean, Doyley turned his situation around in a year, financially and his health. Mine took a little longer because I don't know, I was probably a slow learner. I don't know. It just took me a little bit longer. But it's an incredible opportunity, incredible gift to humanity. We're in 34 countries or 35 countries. There's 200 countries in the world. You know, we're the pioneers. This journey is just beginning. We haven't even scratched the tickle on the scratch. We haven't even started anything. We're just at the very early stages of taking this to to the world. It is an incredible opportunity. My advice to you, if you're listening to this for the first time, work with somebody that's got some runs on the board. Work with somebody that can help you and encourage you and give you belief and coach you, and work with a team. It's an incredible team. We have a myriad of different leaders in the organization that will help you. So reach out to those people and be very grateful. I'm so grateful for this opportunity and every single day. So thank you for inviting me on. I didn't realize I was going to come on after the previous one with the guys in America. So thanks for inviting me on, and I hope that was helpful.
No, thanks, Mel. Thanks for coming on, and really appreciate not only the call before, not only this call, but everything you're doing for not just your team, but for the whole field. And I think that's the thing that's incredible about us here. We all help each other, regardless of where anybody is in the business. And the thing I love is we're on this journey with friends, with people that we know we care about. And I know it's the old cliche, but this is the ASEA family. I mean, we are a big family, and I love our culture and the ethos of the company. Whereas if someone comes in and they're not coming in with the right intention, they don't feel comfortable. We're incredibly blessed with obviously our founder Tyler Norton, that teaches the ethos, the principles and values. And I know you talk about this being an easier business to build than any other business in the past, which I believe it would be. I think when we started this and we made a decision to build the business, we didn't look at huge targets or goals. I mean, you and I, we couldn't believe where we are. We're in the top handful in ASEA and as far as associates. You probably don't know, you're on the top few hundred in the world out of 160 million people as far as what you earn. But all this is a reflection of the people that we help. And we didn't target for these, we didn't go for these big targets and goals. We do have targets and goals, but we get taught and we teach how to help people and how to help people to help people. And everything just falls into place. And that's just, I love that about what we do. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, let me just add to that, Doyley. I think that's a really good point that you raised. If we've got time, Stevie, can I just add a comment that might help some people just getting started?
We have all the time in the world, and I'm handing it all to you.
Thank you. I don't want to keep people too long. But one of the things when Bart first got to me, with me early 2016, one of the things he asked me, he said, Mel, what are your goals for the end of the year and the end of next year? And I looked at him and I said, Bart, I understand completely why you asked me that question, because in previous days, if somebody was coming into my organization, that's what I would have asked them. I said, but I can't answer that right now. I don't even want to go there. I was I felt so defeated. I felt so hurt. I had very little confidence in who I was and in my ability to come back. And I said, you know what? If I could make $100 a week, I said, if I could get to $100 a week, then maybe I could see $250 a week or $1,000 a month. And then, you know what? Maybe I could see a little bit further. So a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. But I had to really start from there in little tiny goals, really little steps. I wasn't looking at diamond or anything. I had no belief in me that I could see why other people could do it, but I had no belief in me, because often what people see, they see the glory, but they don't see the story. Danny watched these early days. A lot of people didn't in my organization because they weren't in my business back then. So they see the glory, but they don't see the struggle. They don't see the pain that I had to deal with, because I knew that the problem was in me. I knew I had to work on my changes. I knew I had to work on my mindset, my belief, and reactivate some belief in me, just as if some people on this call will have to do the same thing. And Audible Books did that for me. I just pounded that into me to get my belief back. It's a little bit like if you're driving from Brisbane to Perth, you're not going to see a sign to Perth. You won't leave Brisbane and say, okay, I'm driving to Perth. You won't see it. In fact, you might be going the other way. So when you build a business like this, it's great to have a big vision, it's great to have a big dream, but sometimes it can be daunting. Sometimes you can look at it and think, my goodness, how can I get there? It's like climbing a mountain. When I climbed Kilimanjaro, the first time I saw it, I thought, my goodness, how am I ever going to get up that thing? So what you do is you look for the first sign, you get a map, you get a set of goals, you get somebody to set you a program, set you a plan, strategic plan for your business, and you say, right, what's the first thing? Okay, the first thing is to become a director. The next thing is to become a director 300. Director 300, let's make a couple of $100 a month. Once we see the sign for that, right, great, okay, then we're going to get to Director 700. Once we see the sign for that, great, okay, now let's see the signpost for bronze. Let's see the next signpost. So you do it step by step, exactly as if you were making a journey from Brisbane to Perth on the road. You look for the little signs, look for the stepping stones, and then reward yourself as you go. Have a reward as you get to each level. Reward yourself. Have a reward for the journey that you're going on, because you've got to reward the inner child in us when you go. Because in the early stages, there's more work than money. In the latter stages, there's more money than work, possibly, but we are rewarded for the work we've done all through the years. But in the early stages, it's more effort than it seems that money coming back. So it's important that you reward yourself, congratulate yourself in those early steps to stay in the journey long enough until you can get up the ranks. So it's a process. For example, bronze, if you're working the business properly, 8, 12, 15 hours a week, bronze should be 2 to 5 months away. Now, it might be a little longer, it might be a little shorter. Some people build it quicker, they grow faster, that's fine, but that kind of gives you a range. So one of the things I think is important is people starting off on the journey, set realistic expectations. I'm working with some guys at the moment saying, I want to set you smaller goals because I want you to congratulate yourself from the win rather than set too big a goal and beat yourself up because you didn't make it again. So it's important to recognize and work with people where they're at. So different people are at different stages, and one of the things I think as we grow in understanding people is to know the people you're working with, to help them step by step as they grow on the stepping stones towards success, and understand that it's a process. It's not an event. It is a journey. Doily, you and I are still on the journey. It's not like we've arrived. You know, when I got back from the States for 3 months, I got back home to check my triple ambassador pin, and I noticed it's starting to rust. So, you know, what I'm sharing with everybody, I'm sharing with Mal. Are you listening to this, Mal? Like, it's ongoing, the journey, the growth, it's ongoing if you want to move on. And as I said on the previous webinar, it's about create or disintegrate. Proctor talks about that. We are either going to create or we're going to disintegrate, because everything in life is vibrating and moving. So we're either moving on or we're moving back. And neither Doily nor I are ready to move back. I'm never going back to where I was, never. I'm not going back there for anything. So it's a progress, a procession, and respect and enjoy the journey, because that's a success. The success is, you know, this is about self-mastery, and it's the journey of self-discovery, becoming more, becoming better. And every one of us can do that. We're the only creatures on the planet that can change who we are. We can reinvent ourselves. We can become more. We can become better. And every single one of you listening, you can do the same thing. Work on yourself every day. Plug into this information on these audibles. It will change how you think. And as you change your thinking, you'll dramatically change your life. Dramatically. It'll help you a bunch, I'm sure.
So you're right, Mel. We practice what we preach. We practice what we teach. Everything that I'm saying, that you're saying, we're listening and reiterating back to ourselves personally what we need to do to keep moving forward. Something that I'm consistently doing, and obviously you are too. Obviously, we won't have any challenges with this company. We don't have any competition as far as the breakthrough, the comp plan, you know, the leadership in the company, this incredible ethos. The challenge is people in themselves. That's where the challenge is. I mean, it's the individual getting into the mindset they need to be in to be able to build a business like this. So we've got some people who've asked questions. If you don't mind, what books, what audibles do you recommend for them to listen to get their head in the right space to be able to do this?
So there's different audibles at different levels. So it depends on the level. If somebody's just getting started, never been in the industry before, have no experience in the industry before, there's 3 books that I like to help people get started with. The first one is a funny book, a funny title. It's called Mach 2, M-A-C-H 2, With Your Hair on Fire, by a gentleman by the name of Richard Bliss Brooke. And what I love about this book was Richard came to the networking industry at 23 years of age. He had no success. He had no track record of success. He'd never done well at school. He'd never done well athletically. He had never had any sense that you could look at him and say, there's somebody who's going to be successful. But in the next 3 or 4 years, he completely transformed his life. This is in the early 70s. And by 4 years later, was earning $30,000 a month out of his organization, out of the organizations that he created, completely transformed who he was. $30,000 a month back in 1977 or 78. It's probably about $200,000 a month now. The point of that, though, is this: wherever you are at, you can transform. Whoever you are, you can change. That's the point of that book. It's an absolute book about total transformation. The second book that I like to start people on is a book called The 4-Year Career, which is also by Richard Bliss Brooke. And he says, look, you can make it a 2-year career, you can make it a 3-year career. You know, personal growth never ends, so you can make it a 5-year career. You'll build the business for different reasons. I'm not going to share with Dolly, but a lot of the big leaders, they don't build the business for money anymore. We got past it. In my own case, I probably got past it 2 years ago. Initially, it was all about money because I didn't have any. Ultimately, you have to have a cause bigger than yourself. So your career is whatever you want it to be. It depends on, you know, your dreams. It depends on your goals. I enjoy helping other people. I enjoy watching people going through the journey of building their organizations. But anyway, the third book that I like is a book called Go Pro, G-O-P-R-O, by Eric Worre, R-O-W-O-R-R-E, Eric Worre. Very good book for beginners. It's really good. For people that have gone through those, then I move into books like Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big. You Were Born Rich has been a classic by Bob Proctor. You Were Born Rich was the single book in 2016 on Audible. It was a seminar format with Bob Proctor, John Canary. I listened to that probably 20 times that year. Totally transformed who I was, totally reinvented my thinking and gave me belief that maybe I could come back. You know, at 61, maybe I could come back from the financial wilderness. So there's a multitude of business. I think 70 books in my library. Anything by Jack Canfield, anything by Jim Rohn, anything by Dr. Dennis Waitley, Bob Proctor. I love Bob Proctor's work. So I was listening to Bob Proctor, not every morning, but a lot of mornings. I'll listen to his abundance meditation. I did this morning. It runs for about 23 minutes. You can go into YouTube and go Abundance Meditation by Bob Proctor. And he teaches about the laws of abundance, thinking about abundance, that every single one on the call, we are created for abundance. There's an abundance in the world. There's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of opportunity, but it's creating abundance thinking, and there's ways of being able to do that. I love the work of Dr. Joe Vitale, and because he was homeless and then became a multi-millionaire. And I'm not just talking about the money, I'm talking about the value. You become a millionaire by the value you give to other people. The more value you give, the more income that you make. Of course, then you can do other things with the money to help other people that maybe can't help themselves. But that's another. A great book for holding wealth is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. It's done as a fable. It's a story, very easy to listen to. It talks about the principle of wealth. So there's two parts to creating wealth. One is making it. The other one that I've always found harder in previous years was hanging on to it. You know, I tell people I've always been very good at making money. I was just way better at spending it. And that's why I got into trouble all the time. So I had to go back and learn how do you actually hold it. But those are some of the books that I would recommend. There's a lot, but and you can go into YouTube. There's a lot of seminars by Jim Rohn, goal setting, dream building. There's a lot of great books. The Attractor Factor is another one by Dr. Joe Vitale. So there's a lot of those kind of books that will help people to get rolling and get started. The key is the discipline to do it. You know, you eat every day, feed your mind every day, feed your mind every single day. Feed your ability to think, change your thinking. And it's to do with the furrows in your subconscious mind. There's a great book that I would recommend as well called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. I'm actually reading the sequel to that, Expanding the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. The way the subconscious mind works, just very quickly, is it's like the old records. Remember the old LP records? You get a scratch in it, and when the needle goes, it goes straight into the scratch. And most people's scratch in their furrow is that they're not very good. They're useless. They're broke. They've never achieved anything. So that's the furrow in your subconscious brain. But we can recreate a new furrow ahead of that scratch. And you do it, one of the ways you do it is by affirmations. And when you create a new furrow there ahead of the old scratch, then the needle comes and it'll go into that scratch and imprint on your brain. I'm worthy. I deserve. I'm whatever you want. I'm diamond, I'm diamond, I'm diamond, I'm diamond. You recreate a new furrow ahead of the old one. And again, we're the only creatures in the world that can reprogram our subconscious minds. Everything really manifests from there in terms of who we become, what we have, who we are. It's all to do with our thinking. Thinking is energy. Thinking creates matter. And change your thoughts, change your thinking, and you'll change your life. The great secret in the book, Think and Grow Rich, it's in the title. You dive into the book by all means, but the title's in the title is the key. Think and grow rich. Think, change your thoughts, change your thinking, you change your life.
Well, now we're well and truly over time, but we've had a lot of people stay on, and huge surprise on this call having you on and staying on. So thank you so much. Everybody that's on this call, don't forget to go back to the person who introduced you. Anybody who wants to take their health in a direction that you want it to go in, make sure you don't go to eBay, Amazon. So they can help you to open up a wholesale account. Anybody who wants to share this with other people, don't hesitate to join our purpose-filled mission to become an associate, an individual distributor, and to go out there and bless people with this incredible breakthrough and the opportunity to maybe turn their lives around financially as well. Great working with you guys. I love being on this journey with you and everybody on this call, because as I said, we are one big family. So really appreciate both you guys and everybody for staying on this call, and we'll catch you very soon.
Good on you. Thanks, Stevie. Thanks, Doily. Thanks, mate. Enjoy Hawaii.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all. Thank you all very much.
Catch you guys. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.